So, whatever, but
Well, thanks for hanging out. These are just going to autoplay. This is my illustrated rock and roll series, so I have notes here. I'm going to go along with the notes. This started as wanting a long-term project, something that I could come back to every week, and something that would accumulate over time. And the goal was to eventually, I want to get into book illustration. So this was a way of me adding something to my, I guess, book portfolio. I thought if I do something that I can put in a book, I can show that to people who, like publishers, I can take that around and show this is what my stuff looks like in a book. So each week I pick a different song. I started treating lyrics as illustration assignments. And then, so that's how it started, but it's actually become more about, like, I've noticed that I'm picking songs. This is week number 29. So I'm starting to pick songs that are kind of like, not just I like them, but I have this memory around them. So that's not what the illustrations are yet necessarily, but that's what it's kind of working toward. I find like each week I do a write-up and I end up writing about this affiliation that I have with the song, not like why I decided to draw a certain thing necessarily, or like why I chose to draw. It's just going to keep filtering. So if you have questions about anything, I'm happy to answer those. Oh, the theme. I chose the theme because it's something that I feel like it's almost evergreen. My family and I have 4 brothers. Anytime we were in the car or when we had dinner, or like the radio was never not on. And even if you ask my wife, it's like, I have to have the radio on. Silence is very weird to me. I love having the radio on. So it's really important. So it's just this thing that I feel like I can always go back to, and I love finding the relationships. Let's see. Okay, I went over all that. Oh, so like stories that I'm finding interesting are like Billy Joel. I've never done a Billy Joel song. Not to say that I won't. I might. I don't know. But people associate Billy Joel with like going down the shore with your dad. Like, so that's like going down the shore music, or my wife. And I feel like for a stretch, every single person I met, anytime my wife was in the car with her dad, he played Graceland, the album. And I feel like everyone that I met for like age 25 to 30 would say, oh, Graceland, my dad and I used to listen to this in the car all the time. So that's the kind of music that I'm looking to illustrate for. I'm on number 29 now. So the first 26 are like kind of stuff that I had affiliations with. The next 26, I'm kind of looking for people to give me songs that they affiliate with other people. So that's why I'm kind of presenting here. So if anybody has a song that they really feel strongly about, or they have a connection to a person, or they have a memory built around that song, or it just reminds you of this time in your life, that's really interesting to me, because I probably walked in your shoes in some capacity relative to that, and I want to make a drawing about it. These are the songs that I love. The first 26 are about songs that I love, but the next 26 I kind of want it to be more about like other people too, and finding relationships with those people. To that end, I mentioned making a book. The first 26 are going to be a book. That's why there's artwork on the wall over here. All the artwork over here is not so much a sales pitch. Enjoy the artwork if you like. If you like anything and you want to take it home, that goes directly to funding the book. So I had a goal of getting into 3 books in 2 years. So I have a plan to make 2 of those myself. So we'll see where the 3rd one comes from. If I have to make that 2, that's okay. It's all about doing it on my own. I'm all for that. Let me see if I'll keep playing these. This has also gotten me into Twitch. So I'm drawing these live now every Thursday at 9 o'clock. So I'll have to leave the party a little early tonight. That's okay. I go home and I draw and I talk about why the song matters and how I draw it. And it's kind of like, I love talking about illustration. So this is a way of me actually showing people how I do things. And then you get to see the finished product the next day. So each one of these has a story. It's not playing. And I have the originals as well, if you want to look at those, if you're here and you want to look at those as well. Yeah, that went all out of order. I make notes and then I abandon them. Oh, last thing, there's a Spotify playlist of every single song in the series, and it's fun to add to that each week. I have only just started to go into that, like I listened to that for fun yesterday for the first time ever. because I have a hard time like making a thing and putting my name on it and then putting it out and be like, you should enjoy this too. So that like I'm clearing a lot of hurdles with this. Like I'm making a book because that's terrifying to me. I don't know how to do it. I'm going to learn. I'm putting out a weekly series and encouraging people to look at my stuff every week. So that's another hurdle I'm trying to clear. And I'm talking to people about it right now. That's another hurdle. And putting artwork on the wall and saying it's for a reason. So that's all. So this is a project that I'm learning a lot about myself, or just being scared and doing the thing and getting over it. And then I'll say that I did it. That's all. Yeah.
Can we watch a Twitch thing?
Actually, yeah, Sean Maturana, our very own, was very kind, and he asked me for a video of my Twitch, and this is my work laptop. He asked me for a video of my Twitch, so Sean put this together yesterday. I don't have any Twitch right here on this laptop, but is that working? Let's see. He sped it up. This is a song from Neil. Neil put me in touch with this person, Jake Lewis. This is actually really cool. This is last week's. This person, Jake Lewis, who Neil knows, and I don't know how, but the manager reached out to me, which is his wife, and said, would you, I play music during the stream, because it's something to talk about, because I just love it. So she reached out to me, and I said, okay, well, I'll just draw one of your songs. So he had an album come out on the 2nd, so this is last week, so it was out for a week, and that was kind of fun to listen to someone's music and just learn it and pick lyrics. I didn't have genius.com for this one, so I kind of had to listen a lot more, which is a lot of fun. This song, the lyrics here, which I can't remember with people staring at me, I'm sorry. The lyrics here were about basically Schadenfreude, where they were breaking up, and this guy was really happy to like basically troll his girlfriend and make her angry. It made him happy to troll her. So that was essentially the entire piece there in like a minute, which is incredible. There was music to that, which Mike Reynolds made. But that was Sean just saying, hey, you should use those videos as promo, so I'm glad you asked, Sam. So I'm figuring out a way to do that as promo as well. This has given me a lot more to work with than just making illustrations about these songs that I love. It's making me think about like, how do they fit with other people? How can I promote them? So I've got a lot going on with this. It's been a ton of fun. I'm going to do this for at least a year. See how it goes, but I'm going to get 2 books out of that. So I have no complaints. I'm really happy with it. Oh, yeah. All right.
Sorry, I don't know you have a name, but could you go over the work that you did in the Katel song?
Yeah, I can do that, sure. And I have the originals here if anyone wants to look at them, because people expressed interest in that, and I'm happy to share them. Just didn't know in what capacity to do that yet, because I would love for them to be seen all together, and I don't know how that's going to happen. So I just don't have a plan for it. Yeah, let's see here. This is a title page. Okay, let's see how I can do this. Oops. Looks like the last one. I'm going to start at the beginning. Yeah, okay, real quick. How much time do I have? Oh, great. This one is Chuck Berry's Rock and Roll Music. The line is, I admit they had a rockin' band. They were blowing like a hurricane. I love it. Like he rhymes band with can, and that's not the word. So that's them blown. This is Grazing in the Grass by Friends of Distinction. This is like total gibberish. Not really, but it's like, the line is, I can dig it, he can dig it, she can dig it, we can dig it, they can dig it, let's dig it, can you dig it? That's just people grazing in grass, digging it. This is Marshall Crenshaw, which I can't remember the exact line, but it's basically like, it would make me happiest if you were giving the love back to me that I was giving to you. That's when I'm happiest. This is Bob Dylan's Isis, what drives me to you, drives me insane, which is like, what an amazing, that's like, what, 8 words? That he could express that complexity in 8 words. So that's a heart and a straitjacket. And I try not to reference the artist, but he's got an interesting profile. So that's the Bob Dylan profile. This is Alabama Shakes. Put your worries on the shelf, learn to love yourself. This is a guy who's like, maybe doesn't have it all going on. This is actually animated, not here. But on my website, allrightmike.com, his thumb moves and it takes a picture of him and he winks at himself. So, like, okay, he's not the total package, but it's fine. He deserves to take a selfie. This is Meatloaf, Bat Out of Hell. I don't remember the words, but it's all about getting the hell out of wherever you are, which is cool. And I wanted to draw a motorcycle there. This is The Clash, London Calling. London is drowning and I live by the river, which is like, that's incredible. Doomsday, just like, all right, well, here we go. This is Lucy Dacus, because I wanted to draw a new artist, and also I'm really worried about drawing only white men. So I thought I need to find women, and this song, they were talking about it on the radio, how much they loved it. Actually, this is the song where I'm like, oh, that's cool. I'm going to draw this because someone else is excited for it. So the song is I Don't Want to Be Funny Anymore. And it's like tongue-in-cheek about how she's going to be an artist because she doesn't want to goof around anymore. So she's just going to write songs and be serious. And that's The Thinker. That's intentionally The Thinker. This is The Hold Steady, one of my favorite bands of all time. I'm pretty sure we partied. If she says we partied, I'm pretty sure we partied. So just waking up in a mess of confetti, just leaving an outline. This is my grandparents' kitchen. This is Brenda Lewis, Baby, I'm Yours, which is just like this wonderful, my grandparents were just wonderful human beings. So this is not them, but it was just like old people. They were together for 60 years, and it just reminds me of people like from their generation dancing in their kitchen. They always found little moments together, and they were very open about that, and I appreciated it, even though I never saw them necessarily dancing together. This is also animated. It moves across the screen, but not in this PDF. Love and Spoonful, Summer in the City, Hot Town, Summer in the City, Back of My Neck, Getting Dirty and Gritty. It's just disgusting. This is Will You Still Love Me Tomorrow, the Shirelles. Tonight with Words Unspoken, you say that I'm the only one. Will my heart be broken when the night meets the morning sun? So this is like a window splitting a heart-shaped reflection, and she's alone. And she doesn't know it yet. Oh, it's so heartbreaking. That was a... Am I doing okay on time? Is this okay? Is this what you asked for? Okay. Okay, cool. This is Carole King, Where You Lead, which I just found out is a Gilmore Girls song. Like this week, I didn't know that. I always wanted a real house with flowers on the windowsill, but if you want to live in New York City, honey, you know I will. This is, I can't remember anything. I think this is, the song is called Hell Yeah. The band is, Lake Street Dive, where she's like putting out all these signals and this guy's just a total doofus, not realizing it. Like, come on, man. I use hearts a lot in this series just because a lot of these songs are about love and relationships, and it's like, okay, that could be hokey, but it's kind of fun to work it in quietly. This is Marshall King Band. Ain't Nothing Wrong With That. That song came out this year, and I'm obsessed with that song. And for those at home, I'm thinking what the lyrics are. I want to get back in that moment. Feel the joy I felt right then. Tell me you remember that moment. I don't remember the next line or something. I just thought that was fun. Like an old man, like remembering this thing. I don't know. This is Hearts Alone. Like the line is, how do I get you alone? My wife loves to sing that song in the car. So that thought of that with her. So it's just people like eyeing each other up on the subway, crowded subway. This is one of my favorite songs of all time, Bruce Springsteen, Racing in the Streets. This is like I have a day job. I've always had a day job, and I go home and I draw every night just about. Some guys give up living. They start dying little by little, piece by piece. Some guys come home and wash up and go racing in the streets. That is my like anthem. So that's that. This is Queens Don't Stop Me Now. I don't remember the line, but it's all about like just being hyper explosive and positive. And I actually that's Freddie Mercury, so I try not to use people, but whatever. This is Little Richard, The Girl Can't Help It. She makes Grandpa feel like 21. This is that line. This song is awesome. It's got she turns a bread slice to toast, She makes the beefsteak become well done. That's an like it was. I had a hard time choosing for that one. This one is Rilo Kiley, The Absence of God, which sounds like really negative, but it's actually like it's just a positive song. It's like finding faith in yourself. I don't remember what this line is, but it's about moving on with your life. So you carry this torch, the heart there. So you just move on. I'll have to look up the lyrics for that. But also you could go on allrightmike.com and see for yourself. This is Frank Ocean. I don't remember the exact line because I'm trying to speak quickly, but it's about like kind of being stuck with someone, but kind of needing that person too. Like this person tried to leave, and then they couldn't, and then so they have each other, so they could do a lot worse, I guess. This is Oasis. She's electric. She's in a family full of eccentrics. The whole song is about her cousins and how weird the family is, and the guy's like, all right, I still like her. So like, this is my favorite stuff back here. Like there's a stick figure on the wall, and it's just like, it's weird. So yeah, this is a super weird family. I did Motown Month. This is one of my favorite things ever is the Marvin Gaye, Tammy Terrell first duets album, even though all three of them are really good. I've got your picture on the wall, but I can't sing or call to come to me when I call your name. That's that one. This is the Four Tops. I Got a Feeling, which is one of my favorite songs ever. I did a drawing that I have to put on the wall over here that's based on just me doing the Four Tops dance, which is just like, it's just this, because they're so happy. But the line is, when you're in my arms, when you're in my arms. That's it. It's just like a visceral reaction to being happy with someone. This is, forgetting her name. Man, Midnight Train to Georgia, but not that. Who is that? I can't remember. I'm sorry. I'm drawing a blank in front of an audience. Go to my website and look at that one up. This is another one of my favorite songs of all time, Stevie Wonder's As. Until the ocean covers every mountain high, until the dolphins fly and parrots live at sea. This is lovebirds. The concept of lovebirds is really interesting, where like these birds get in monogamous relationships, or as close as you can. So I went with that idea. I forget which breed, but that is a specific breed, and they're bred to be one of those two colors. So I did some research on that one. This came from request of Saul Rosenbaum. It's Let the Man Go Through, and man, I cannot remember that, but Saul told me a story about how they used to crank that at one of his first jobs. They painted the room a dark green, and they painted the ceiling black, and he would play this for, by his description, paraphrasing, they played it hours on end until it was in their DNA, and he still listens to it to get through mental blocks. And then this is Jake Lewis. So I'm trying to find personal relationships with these songs in other people that I can connect with. I can definitely relate to mental block and just like, how do you get out of that? I can definitely relate to that. This was cool to find meaning in someone's music that other people hadn't yet put meaning into. So I felt like I was getting a chance to put a stamp on this before maybe other people got to. So that was the appeal of that. Oh, that's all. Whew. Okay. Any other questions? Do we have time? Okay. Any other questions? Alex, you have a question?
Yeah, the book itself, how clear of an idea of do you have of what you want the book to look like? Is there another book that inspires the direction you want to take this? Is it just a picture book, coffee table? Is writing going to be in like stuff in your process? And what do you actually see going into the final book as you've gone through this process? How has that changed too?
That's a good question. I actually had a design in mind, but then looking at pricing, I might change that. No, each song gets a write-up. On my website, each song gets the picture and the write-up of why there's why I chose to do this song. And I do picture it as a coffee table book. I'm hoping that people can find a picture and say, what the flip is this? And then realize that it's about this song. And then either that person can relate to that, but maybe through another song, and that's interesting to me, or they can relate to that song directly. But yeah, it's meant to be a coffee table book where people hopefully enjoy the artwork, and hopefully it gets them thinking about the music that they love. This is all about like My wife is indifferent, well, except for Backstreet Boys and New Kids on the Block, which they have their place and that's great, but they're not like, I'm not into that. She's into that and that's cool, but otherwise she doesn't really care if I'm a prolific channel changer in the car. It's just like I keep hitting that, like, until I find something I like, I'll just go forever. That doesn't bother her at all. She's not so into the music, but people who are really into it the way that I am, where the radio playing matters, that's the audience that I'm trying to reach. Basically, XPN members. Like if you're an XPN member, I think you would find something that you like in this collection, or find some part of yourself in this collection. Yeah.
If we want to share our songs with you, what do we do? Email you?
Oh, yes. Yes, thank you for asking. You can reach me on Slack at Mike Jackson. We can talk in person.
I don't want to.
That's fair. That's fair. Or you can email me, Mike at AllRightMike. I didn't put that on there. Or this is my Instagram and Twitter at AllRightMike. Is that sufficient? Like, I'm happy to talk in any capacity you want. I like that. I'll meet you whichever way you want. That's fine. I would love to hear what song you're into and why. That's the whole goal of me talking here today, to tell people that I want to know their favorite songs.
What's the story behind All Right, Mike?
I bought that URL. I still don't know how the web works, honestly, but I bought that in college 10 years ago because we needed to have, it was like advanced to have a URL at 10 years ago in college, where now it's probably mandatory. All iterations of Mike Jackson and Michael and all those were taken, obviously, because my name's Mike Jackson. So I just remembered my teacher showing enthusiasm to me, and she was so positive, and she's just like, "Oh, right, Mike, that looks great." And I thought, all right, well, I need something.
I will not be able to read it without hearing that intonation.
Yeah.
It was supposed to be like, "Oh, right, Mike," like that, like if I bought a URL for my brother, I'd be like, "Come on, Sean." Yeah, but you know what? All Right Mike is like, I couldn't get it on Snapchat and I couldn't get it on Twitch. Twitch is twitch.tv/allrightmike.com as spelled out. And that's at 9 o'clock on Thursdays. I didn't have room to put that on here. And also, that's a lot of information. Being mindful. Yeah.
Another question about the process of the actual logistics of the book design and printing. How far along are you in that process?
I have everything.
I assume you're self-publishing, right?
Oh, yeah.
I'm interested in knowing how that works. Like maybe that's another lesson learned, but
I'd be happy to talk about it. I still don't have all the answers for that because I have a couple of different options for printing a bunch, and then I have inventory. And I thought, like Sean Martirana and I have always talked about doing flea markets, and I never had a thing to sell. My thing is the drawings, but no vehicle for them. Now I have a vehicle for them, and I'm really excited about it. So I'd be happy to do flea markets or like, rock and roll. What is that? Whatever that one is. Good answer. But like Art Star Craft Bazaar is one that comes to mind. I'd be happy to get a table and just talk to people about because I'm not talking about my work. I'm talking about the music that made the work. So that's way more interesting to me, and I think more engaging to an audience. So I'm not sure if I want to do inventory or do like one-off orders where you can go direct to the printer, which is an option, which is not a terrible option based on price. So I haven't decided how I want to do it. I might do a mix of both. Got a few options I'm still weighing. I'm happy to talk about that once I have done it instead of what I could. Like that would be way more interesting what I did opposed to I'm not quite sure yet. I'm trying it.
yeah.
Happy to talk about it. If you have more questions about that.
Yeah, like I my boyfriend and I have an idea for a children's book. I don't know if that would be like the same type of printer that you would use for illustration for this book or not.
For reference.
As you get through the process of like pick your brain.
Okay, do you want to? That we can talk about that.
Yeah.
I would be thrilled to talk about that. Yeah, that would help me too. Okay, we can talk about that even like today if you want. Okay, cool. Anyone else?
The time.
Okay, cool. Thank you. Thanks, everyone.
I know a good printer.
Chelsea, you want me to put your thing up?
Oh,
or do you have it on yours?
I didn't finish. So Or if I have the code, do I need a code
The
for the Zoom?
Indy held that board session.
Oh.
How to really patriotic over there. Flag.
Hand over heart. And JFDI.
I mean, it's just a website. But I don't really need to like, go through it.
Okay. Do you want me to put it up?
Yeah,
on
yeah,
the-
if you don't mind.
Happy to.
Hi, I'm Katel. Should I start?
Yes.
I'm Katel, and I run a small book publishing company called A Book Apart. It was not started by me, but I came on about almost 4 years ago and started running the business after it was started as a side project by a couple people. You may or may not know Jeffrey Zeldman, Jason Santamaria, and Mandy Brown. And we have grown the catalog. The books that we publish are web design resources, everything from content strategy to programming languages to some new topics that we're experimenting with. Oh yeah, sorry. We've grown the catalog from it was around 8 books when I joined, and now we've got 25, which is kind of awesome. In about 3 years, we've more than doubled it. And so yeah, so the books look like this. This is actually one of our latest releases, Demystifying Public Speaking, which is interesting because we started with 2 programming language books. It was HTML5 for web designers and CSS3 for web designers. And then the third book was all about content strategy. So we've been kind of feeling out the audience and seeing what what folks are interested in and responding to. And as I'm sure you know, if you work on the web or work remotely with anyone who does or does work for those people, it's really grown, and there's a lot more online learning and books and tutorials that you can get. So we're really trying to find our niche, and that's why we've been sort of sticking to topics that are that seem essential for web design and development. But with this latest release, we're departing a little bit from it. Demystifying public speaking is one that we feel is pretty important because there's a lot more people speaking about what they're working on. And if you go to conferences or if you pay attention to the conference circuit, there's a lot more need for diverse speakers and just raising other people's voices. So we felt like it was really important to kind of get a book out there that would help people do that. We started a series this year called Briefs, which are even shorter than our regular length books, which are around 100 to 150 pages. And the briefs are digital only. They're about 30 to 40 pages, and they're sort of like deep dives and kind of or basics on a topic. So yeah, we've actually been publishing for almost 7 years now, and it was really bootstrapped. It was, let's put one book out and see if anyone buys it, and people did. We have a sister company called An Event Apart and A List Apart. You may have read some of the magazine articles on A List Apart. So there was sort of already people writing for the magazine and speaking at the events who kind of felt like they naturally would have a book in them, and that's where we started with everything. Now we're working with folks who might not have as much experience and kind of helping them through the process, and we've really established a fine-tuned publishing process where we pair a writer with an editor fairly early on. We take them through the whole editing process, which is pretty rigorous and heartbreaking at some point. But it always ends up really like a really great experience because I think we're very interested in helping people grow through the process and not just, write an article or write a book and get it out there. So it's pretty involved. And then, yeah, and then we print, we have paperbacks and ebooks. So I know all about fulfillment and printing and storage. So I'm happy to talk about that if you want, anytime. I think for folks who are writing their own books and creating their own books, there's a lot of different options, like you said, print on demand and not dealing with inventory versus dealing with inventory. So there's a lot that goes with that. And so that's my day-to-day. I also became friends with Melissa Crispin, who's here recently, and she joined Indy Hall. And we've been talking a lot about a side project that we've been working on, which also has to do with books. And we're at the very early stages. We're kind of trying to figure out if the idea sticks. We have a couple things that we're doing that in real life, testing it out. And I'm going to turn. Do you want to talk about the idea?
So actually, this idea was a strange, prolonged brainchild when I quit my old job in the spring. I was the creative director at a pet insurance company, and I've been a volunteer at Paws. I'm sure you've all heard of Paws since they started, and so pets have always been a huge part of my life. I really loved being in an industry where I could do pets and design. That was great. But I got tired of it, and I quit, and I didn't know what I wanted to do next. So one of the first things that came to mind was something that I think romantically anyone who likes books has thought of, which was, I'll start a bookstore. That'd be great, and you have all these, I'd be drinking coffee and back and talking to people about books I love, and, So about, a couple weeks after I thought, after this occurred to me, I met Katel, and through a mutual friend, and I said, I'm thinking about a bookshop, and she said, I'm in publishing. We should have coffee.
And
so
I had that same romantic dream idea of the bookshop thing, and I was like, this sounds so cool. And I didn't mean to interrupt you, but we started doing some research, and apparently there's a whole industry based around helping people open bookstores.
Yes.
It's kind of amazing.
So I went to a workshop that this company that only helps people open bookstores does. They have them twice a year. I went to one up in Massachusetts. They have one, I think it depends where in the fall, and then in the spring they always have it in Florida. So if anyone is interested in starting a bookshop, let me know and I can give you lots of information. But in this process, I started thinking about, maybe it's not just, researching why bookshops are coming back, indie stores are coming back. But what really helps is when you have a niche. I thought, well, something I love and know a lot about is pets. I also happen to be married to a veterinarian. So, I have a lot of different, kinds of reach into that. And I don't know if you've ever gone into a bookstore and looked for pet stuff. It's usually a really small section. And so I thought, well, maybe it's a shop that only has or dog and cat and other pet-related books. So we started, and I talked to Katel. She was, we're both on board with it, and started going through, pulling, if I were going to curate a bookstore, what would I bring in? And for those of you who are thinking about self-publishing, that is something that's very much in the forefront of publishers and booksellers' minds. So they do newsletters regularly, and they always mention top self-published books. So, which I was surprised about, but they definitely have that as well, and print on demand. So I don't have any real visuals. I mean, I have PDFs of covers. I did bring. We're doing a pop-up here. Is it Tuesday?
Yeah, next Tuesday, during night owls.
During night owls. And so we have some books. We're doing a pop-up later today at Central Park Doggy Care, which is in town. So I have a whole selection of books that we're going to bring and try and sell there. But I put together a bunch of stuff in different sort of categories that, if someone was interested and they wanted to order something, we're going to have another pop-up at Central Park next week, so we can bring that with us. So if anyone wants to look at this and just see all the different categories that dogs mostly, since we're going to a doggy daycare, and cats are in, I mean, we're going to have a book, Knit Your Own Dog. Who knew that was a thing? Cooking.
Also interesting to me.
Right, I know. Recipes for, there are whole books on recipes you can make for just biscuits for your dogs.
Yeah, it's kind of amazing how many different books there are on just pet stuff, from baking your own, your food and making your own food to, there's coloring books and all that sorts of stuff. But one of the reasons we're doing this is because we want to talk to people and get an idea of whether this is something that people would want or buy from or think is a good idea. And we started by, we did the same kind of thing at an event called the Mutt Strut, which is essentially sort of what it sounds like. It's a big dog walk in October. And we had a little tent and we bought some books and we thought we'll resell them and we got a logo together and we just kind of we set up shop and we were like, all right, let's see, what happens. And we sold some books and people came by and they were like, this is such a cool idea. And then sort of the long-term dream is to have a book truck, basically. So instead of a food truck, a book truck, and think about like bookmobiles. I don't know if you had them in elementary school, but sort of that idea where we would rove around and have these books. So again, this is the thing we're trying to do, is kind of like get in front of people and see if it's an idea that sticks. So that's the pop-up idea.
I figure most people like pets, and if they don't, they know someone who does.
Right.
So that's pretty much it.
Yeah. Do you want to tell them what it's called?
Oh, yes. I forgot they wouldn't know. It's called Beastly Books.
That's working title. Yeah.
So we have a Facebook page. We have an Instagram handle at all Beastly Books. And do you have anything else?
Yeah, that's pretty much it. I mean, there's not a lot there yet, but we're filling it up.
And we're trying to get people to join our mailing list to just find out, are you interested in this? Maybe at some point, since the book truck is the long-term idea, maybe we'll be able to do something online initially rather than actually have a store. So, and this is going to be a sideline thing for both of us. So it's not like a full-time job either. It's just sort of something that we thought would be fun that people might like. If anyone wants to look at this, please feel free.
And I'm going to leave these books here, and I'm happy to bring in any of our other titles if folks want to borrow them or read them or buy them. So,
where does the apart come from?
It all started with a list apart, and I think it was just sort of like, it was meant to be kind of a curated, we're sort of field leaders of this kind of content, and it was sort of like an apart. Yeah.
Any questions or thoughts?
Yeah, for the publishing company, you mentioned you're targeting people for online application. A lot of people do that because I work on them. I have a book, so far just ebooks. But why would someone want to work with a publishing company rather than say create space on Amazon? You have advantage like that. You really like what you learn.
Yeah, I think one of the biggest reasons is distribution is one. We work with, we don't work with a lot of big distributors, but we work with O'Reilly, who's a big, another house, and we're looking at kind of where else we should distribute. The other thing is, I think you get a little bit more support in marketing, and you have you potentially have a broader network to sell your book to. And the other thing that I know that we for sure offer is a really dedicated, meticulous editing process. So I think it's sort of the difference between like, if you have access to that or if you're willing to make that part of your process, that's great. But if you don't have access to that, it's nice to have that be a part of writing and editing the book. It makes it, makes for a better end product, I think. But
I think it's very possible because I know a lot of people who are writing, create space, and I have things so I could probably talk to you instead. But there's a lot of there are a lot of people already because those things that we don't need it all that, right? So everyone's really trying to. And I think it's the editing's really nice. A lot of stuff out there, but I mean, the trend has to be garbage to be ordered. I mean,
Yeah.
It's like bad. So I think the editing is really big thing.
Yeah.
To distinguish that.
Yeah, yeah, and we work with editors who have done work in the field. So I think that makes a big difference too. We work with not just general editors, but technical editors that really know the subject matter, and I think that makes a big difference too, because they're sort of not just editing at like a copy edit level. They're really looking for whether the topic is presented in the right order and kind of if the information is right or appropriate.
So, what have you learned from going and selling your books at the pop-up stores? What are the findings that you found?
Well, we don't really have enough data yet.
That's true. We've only done it once.
Yeah. So, and talk to people about it. I mean, people express interest, but would they actually come to a book truck? We don't know.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, and it's interesting because the first pop-up we did at Mudstrut there was really like no marketing around the fact that we were going to be there, and it was just kind of like let's see what happens.
Mm-hmm.
And we had sort of an idea of how much we wanted to invest of our own money and kind of like to do the test. But this next one that we're doing this evening has a lot more marketing around it because the place we're doing it in is really supportive of the idea and really wants to offer to her customer base, what we're testing. So I think that'll be interesting to see what the turnout is. And I think it's good timing. It's like pre-holiday, and there's going to be people there who are really like that's the audience.
Right. And the owner of the daycare actually came up to us at Mudstrut and said, this would be a great idea. And one of the reasons that she was really interested is because she often recommends books on training and behavior and things like that to her customers. And, obviously they have to go and buy them. That's not such a big deal. But to have them there and just say, this is a great book that I love recommending, it's an easy sale. It makes it just a better experience for everyone. Mm-hmm. So we're excited about it.
Yeah. If we find anything more interesting or like that is, worth reporting on, we will happily share.
Update you.
Will you have fiction?
Yes.
There are a lot
10-year-old Sam will love that.
Yes, we will even have it for sale.
Fiction for adults and kids, not for dogs.
Yes.
So in the pop-up store, how does that work? Where do the books come from? And how does it like? So do you have a split with whoever sponsors you? Or do you...
No, we don't have any sponsors at this point. So any monies that go into it are ours at this point.
But we're yeah, and we're buying the books. We're buying the books at a reseller wholesale rate. So when we sell the books, we're selling them at like list.
We're registered as a bookstore,
right?
And
yeah,
so
we
can
did
sell books. We can put Philly tax on them and all that stuff. And so we have accounts with wholesalers that we can get books from, and other things like notebooks and planners and stationery things like that.
dog and cat tchotchkes.
Are you planning to do anything online, like set up an online shop with maybe the bestsellers? Do you work with sponsorship?
Yeah, it's something we've talked about and just need to do some more research because part of the issue is inventory. And when you run an actual store, then you're ordering enough in bulk that you don't have to worry about paying shipping fees and stuff. But if we're just doing little stuff online, we don't want to have to be paying shipping on every one or two books that people want. So we're just trying to figure out, I don't know if any of you have been to Reading Terminal at there's a cookbook stall there. All they sell is cookbooks, and they have an online store. And so that's one of the people that I want to talk to about it and just say, how does she do it? Does she actually store inventory, or does she have some other process that she goes through? And of course, we'd have to build websites. minor stuff. We both know people, so
Yeah.
yes.
Are you in a what vehicle? Are you something that people can walk into? Or is it
No, I mean, because it's a pop-up, it's basically whatever we can fit on a, maybe 6 foot, 8 foot table.
okay?
So we're just bringing boxes.
Oh, okay. It's not food truck.
We don't have that
No,
yet.
yeah. Yeah, we were like, let's do more testing on the idea before we actually like go buy a,
Yeah.
because I mean, you can get them pretty cheap.
You
but
can when you look into it.
There's actually in Fishtown, there's that Warby Parker truck, the
Yes.
school bus. We went over there one day and we were like, we're just checking it out.
Of course, that one is like fixed, but
Yeah.
we would want it to be
But I think
frozen.
that's like the idea. You'd like go in and there would be some kind of display in there. And then I think the nice thing about that, or the idea of it, is that if, in any month that it's nice weather and you're at a farmer's market or something, we could set up like an awning and kind of have extra real estate. But yeah.
If anyone thinks it's a terrible idea,
Yeah,
please
we
let
would
us
like to hear
know.
that too.
We want, honest criticism and feedback.
Are there handouts or anything? Like, are there handouts here? Or everything?
No, but we can bring stuff and leave it here. Like this, we'll be back for the pop-up on Tuesday. And
Oh, yeah.
Do a flyer.
Yeah.
we just don't know what to put on it yet. We're not sure what information to put on it yet, since we don't have a website to send people. Okay, thank you.
Because I think it would be good. I also, I thought of a place to, my gym, 12-3 gym, sometimes has pop-up places. I think that you should have check with them, because we have a lot of pet owners. It's in the neighborhood. So we
What
have
gym? Is it
12th
12th Street Gym?
They have tables.
Really?
Yeah, so, yeah, I can talk to them. But they have all kinds of stuff like, they even have, I think, one of the rescue groups, they came and brought it.
Oh, wow.
Well, you can do that, you can coordinate with the rescue.
Yes.
group.
Yeah.
That'd be
Yes.
cool, bring a bunch of, like, bring a bunch of-
Yeah. Well, I mean, the book truck would have to have a cat, and obviously it would be pet friendly.
One kind of cool thing that strikes me about this versus another bookshop is you get to treat every location like an event
Yeah.
instead of like a destination. The event creates the destination instead of the other way around.
Yeah.
We have a little framework, me and Sam and Adam and Sean put together for like zooming out and thinking about designing sort of a community building experience around the event. It's the kind of thing where I can see people coming for books in this pitch, but there's also the fact that people like meeting other pet lovers
And book
things like that.
lovers.
And book lovers. So
Yeah.
there's this whole community building aspect to it. The same way that
Mhm.
a farmer's market, you don't just go get your groceries. There's that. Even if you're not interacting with people, there's that buzz.
Yeah.
Yes.
So we're happy to share that framework.
That would be great.
It's just all it is really a series of questions to ask yourself, sort of like in a particular order, and
Yeah.
it helps you think about who's going to be there, why they would be there, what they would bring, not just what they would take, and those kinds of things.
Yeah,
It
and
sounds
that-
like it would be really fun. Really fun.
That I would love to see
Yeah.
those questions. And I mean, when we were talking about an actual bookstore, one of the things that was important was that community, sense. And we thought we'd have, bookstores have events. We'd have pet center events. So we might have a cooking class, or we might have training and behavior classes that people can come to. But it's, we know that community is a big thing for pet lovers, like you said.
Yeah.
So
And I think it would be interesting to go to those places
Yes.
and, try it in a mobile way and not, just,
That idea. I know as speaking as a pet owner, I had a dog, and a lot of times it's hard to go to events because I go, oh, I'd like to go to this and get my dog walked, but my dog can't come with me actually inside of the event.
right,
So having a truck there,
Right.
she did so much special things around that. It would be just cool because
yeah,
if it's class, I know that would be something I could do, but I could also bring my dog, get her exercise on the week there.
yeah,
So I'm thinking switching banks now because there's a bank in my neighborhood that allows you to
Really? Inside?
Inside the bank. I'm like, oh, that's one more errand that I can bring her with me.
yeah, definitely, yeah,
Especially when you have a larger dog who needs a lot of exercise. Right? Sometimes you
right,
set up your life so that they get.
yeah. I know. I would bring my dog everywhere if I could. Like, but
Of course, I have the kind of dog that can't go anywhere. But
We have to understand.
Thank you so
yeah,
much.
thank
Thank
you guys.
you.
Thanks for listening.
This will be back on Tuesday
Tuesday,
for the
good
pop-up.
night, Alice.
There's a buzz post already. I'll make sure to link it in the check that out.
And I've got stickers too. Just move on.
what? I know.